United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call.
Chisholm. Here. Bell Richard. Here. Carlson. Here. Luce. Here. Bergen.
Here.
Hadley. Here. Johnson.
Approval of the agenda.
Make a motion to approve the agenda.
Thank you.
Second.
Any discussion? Roll call.
Carlson. Aye. Luce. Aye. Johnson. Aye. Hadley. Aye. Bell Richard. Aye. Chisholm. Aye. Bergen.
Aye. First and foremost, under our public comment, we join with the Iowa League of Cities in recognizing all city clerks for the services they provide to our communities. We want to thank Wanda Hemside for her 40 years of service. I appreciate your work. I appreciate not only here, but also the work that you do, even at the state level, the information you provide for us, and just all the things that help make things go smoothly. Thank you very much. Is there anybody else that wishes to speak to the council on items that are not on the agenda? Sure.
This,
Just you have to say your name and your address.
Brian Beaker,
Okay. It's-
115 Sunset Drive.
Okay.
And I don't know the answer to these for sure, but one of my suggestions, we're in the process personally of building a house. The way I understand it now, the residential abatement is one year at a time and passed, I think late in the year is when it would get renewed for the following year. As we've kind of worked through the planning things, my suggestion to council would be, whether you do it 3 years or 1 year at a time, if you could pass the abatement right now for 2020, it would be very helpful for builders and planning, because right now, our contractor's busy. Our concern is that we have to finish this or come as close as we can to finishing it by December 31st in case the abatement isn't upheld for 2020. I think in the perfect world, we find out now that it is, we would get the shell of our house built this fall, late fall, and have winter work for our electricians, plumbers, and folks that really could benefit by having work, indoor work over the winter months. So I would just say, if you would consider voting on the following year's residential abatement or making an amendment, and still go 1 year at a time or whatever you guys see is best. It seems like it would benefit everyone with a little longer window for planning and not having to rush to finish something.
I appreciate you coming before us and asking for the request. I think Chad can be looking at that and we can get information.
Thank you.
Thanks, Brian.
Okay, anybody else?
Good evening, Mayor and council members. My name is Dustin Knowles with Lion Energy. I do not live in town, so I can't give you my address. But at your last special council meeting, you had asked on the rate increase as far as percentages. So what we have done at Alliant is we went through and picked out the highest bills that you have, because you do have a bunch of different accounts. And I gave Chad, I believe, enough copies for everybody. So we went through and identified the library, city hall, water, campground, and wastewater treatment plant. And it's got estimated increase for 2019 and 2020, and then a total increase overall. And then also at the bottom, we put together some increases for the streetlights. And you guys know in town here, there's a whole slew of different accounts as far as Lion owned, Decorah owned. So next week, I have two guys that are going to be coming into town to do a streetlight inventory. And they're going to go through and identify what belongs to Alliant, what belongs to Decorah. And hopefully we can put some numbers together for you guys so you better understand the streetlights also.
Okay, thank you very much. I
Yep.
appreciate that.
Thank
Again, a paper.
Oh, thank you very much.
Okay, consent agenda.
The consent agenda consists of minutes of April 15th, April 22nd, April 26th, 2019 meetings, your claims, renewal Class B beer permit for Pizza Hut, including Sunday sales, renewal Class B beer permit for Pulpit Rock Brewery, including Sunday sales and outdoor service area, renewal Class C beer permit for Quick Star, including Sunday sales and Class B native wine privileges, renewal Class C beer wine permit, including Sunday sales and outdoor service area privileges. Consider a special event application for the second annual Pulpit Road Run, Thursday, July 4th, 2019. Information's in the packet. Item H, approval of fraud reporting policy as required by Homeland Security. Item I, approval of procurement policy as required by Homeland Security. And Resolution 2955, consenting to assignment of paying agent registrar agreement to UMB Bank.
I make a motion to approve the consent agenda as presented.
Second.
Discussion. Roll call?
Hadley,
Aye.
Bergen,
Aye.
Chisholm,
Aye.
Belringer,
Aye.
Carlson,
Aye.
Luce,
Aye.
Johnson.
Aye.
Conduct a public hearing on proposed development agreement with Ridge Development Company, LLC, Eagle Bluffs Development, LLC. I'll open the public hearing. We'll come up to the, anybody who wants to speak, and you just,
All right. My name is Stephanie Fromm. I'm with Winnebago County Development and Decorah Jobs. I'm here tonight just to kind of thank all of you, the mayor and Chad, as well as Ridge Development. They've been a great partner in this whole project. I appreciate all of your hard work and your due diligence and the time that you've committed to the project and kind of researching things. Decisions aren't always easy, and so let's just keep partnering with good quality developers, both inside and outside of our community, to invest in our future. So,
thank you. Anyone else wishing to speak? Public hearing?
Hi, my name is Ron Fodness of 701 Day Street. You may know me as a school board member, which is true, but I'm not here on behalf of the school, but simply as an individual and with a perspective from school board related issues. And I strongly encourage you to support this development agreement. I think this is a wonderful thing for our community. There's obviously a cost with any sort of incentive plan, but I think this is a good investment for the future of our community, and thank you for your support.
Thank you. Anybody else that wishes to speak?
Yes, I'm Scott Carlson, 405 Decorah Avenue. I'm not going to restate my comments from my letter that I sent to you guys, but I just want to encourage you guys, I want to speak to the motion here to approve Hy-Vee coming. I think it's really, really important in this time where we've seen a 5% or more decline in our region in population, more than 10% over the last, since 2007, that we diversify our economic base the best we can. I think there's a lot to be gained here. Personally, I'm a fairway guy, and I like fairway, but I think it's important in light of that, though, to recognize that we need to pull as many people to the Decorah area as we can. This isn't just to serve our local constituents, it's to serve our regional constituents as well. And if we can get those regional individuals to come to town, we can increase the fiscal capacity in terms of our taxes, and also their willingness perhaps to shop downtown and other areas of Decorah. So I think it's money well spent. I don't think it has any real economic downside outside of the temporary suspension of the tax benefits. So I support the amendment.
Thank you. Anyone else?
Hello, Mark Jensen, rural Bluffton. Not here on WCDI behalf, but myself, I encourage you guys to support the motion and do note that you guys are leaders in our county, and much of what happens in this area does at times happen in Decorah. and it makes an impact to all of us across the county in the rural areas where we don't have grocery stores in Bluffton or Ridgeway where I work. And so the impact that decisions like this have go far beyond just your own constituency that votes you in. And so I want you to know that people from outside of Decorah appreciate the effort that you put into this and that the impact it will make on our lives too. So thank you very much.
Thank you. Anyone else?
Brian Ridge, I'm the developer of this project, and I wanted to first thank Stephanie Crom and Chad Bird for all the hard work they put in, and all the council members who have put time into reviewing this project. And I want everybody to understand, it is not only for your local city, but for the region, it is a positive thing. It's going to bring a lot of jobs here, and a lot of quality jobs that will have benefits with it also. And as with any project, it takes certain incentives to bring companies to town, hard work. And we appreciate all the work that everybody's put in on this, and we look forward to being a good partner for you here in the city of Decorah. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm Becky Wyand, 702 East Water Street, and I would encourage our council to stand behind IB. I think it would be a wonderful addition to our community. And I agree with everything that everybody else said before me. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else? Okay, I'll close the public hearing. One question I have for you, Chad. Go
Mayor,
ahead.
I'm sorry, just to interject for the record, I did receive 2 emails
Okay.
supporting the project as well.
That's what I was
The
gonna
first is from Jordan Dees, 303 West Water Street, supporting the project. And the other is from Stephen Karen Darrington, also supporting the project. They didn't use their address.
I just have a question because I know there's been a lot of support one way or the other. Is this in relation just with working with the developer? We've had a lot of comments and people offering comments.
Supporting the project.
Yeah.
Maureen, is there a question just that in our backgrounds it says that no
Right.
comments have been received?
Other than these 2, which just came today.
And that's in reflect to your question, that's in reflection to just tonight's public hearing. We have definitely received
Yes.
Okay.
comment.
I just wanted to clarify. Thank you. Okay, consider resolution 2950, a resolution approving development agreement with Ridge Development Company LLC, Decorah Bluffs Development LLC, authorizing annual appropriation tax increment payments and pledging certain tax increment revenues to the payments of the agreement.
Move for approval of resolution 2950.
Second.
Discussion?
So just let me reiterate a couple of minor points in the agreement, if I may, for the council and for the sake of the public. There are 3 basic elements to the development agreement. The first is what we call a minimum assessed valuation, that the developer and the city agree that the project will minimally assess, and that's a minimum, could go up over time through the normal course of reevaluation that the county assessor is responsible for. The developer has requested that that be put at $1 million. It is a change from originally discussed early on in the project at 1.6. I would remind the council that there is no public debt tied to this, so the minimum becomes less important. It really is important for the developer to understand what type of rebate they may get back out of the project, assuming some level of minimum assessed valuation. So with a lower minimum assessed valuation just simply means that they expect to receive less property tax rebate out of the project. Again, notwithstanding any normal increases in valuation over time. Total TIF rebatable payments remain at capped at $425,000 or 15 years, whichever would come first. Of course, understanding that a lower minimum assessment means that it might be harder to obtain at least the 425 in rebated tax payments. And then finally, the agreement is only applicable if Hy-Vee signs any release, and they remain the tenant through the term of this agreement. Those are the key elements. I know both Ryan and Brian are here, so if there's any other comments or questions, certainly the council could ask them as well.
Any other questions?
Chad, could you clarify just when it was originally proposed at the 1.6, how was that figure presented, or who presented it, and why that figure?
Those were early conversations, and what the developer, at least at that time, anticipated would be put into the building and put into the project. Right now, my understanding is that Hy-Vee will be putting a lot of their own energy and financial wherewithal into the project that the developer isn't necessarily tied to or connected to. And so they just felt it better for them in terms of this agreement, because remember, this agreement is between the city and the developer. They felt that lower number was better.
Does that mean then that the developer is not going to be putting as much money into this rehabilitation of the property as originally presented to us?
Yeah, I guess that would be a question for them. They'll still be, liable for the minimum assessed valuation, whether they put that money in it or not. The assessor, if this agreement is approved, the assessor is taking the value of that building $2 million.
Could I turn that question to you guys?
So with assessed value, we felt like it was more fair to the city and to us if we lowered the minimum assessed value. We believe the significant value, we know what we're going to put into the building is going to far exceed that, and we know what we anticipate Hy-Vee is going to do to the building. We don't have their firm plan yet, so we don't really know what that dollar amount is. So as we get to that dollar amount, we believe that assessed value is going to far exceed the $1 million, probably similar to what we said it was going to be. But we wanted to, if it doesn't get there, to the 1.6, it just takes us longer to capture the 425, or maybe we never do capture the 425 if that assessed value isn't there. But given the rate that it has went up over the last several years, you're approximately $100,000 a year just in incremental increases on your annual assessment anyway. So we felt like we know it's going to get to $1 million. Beyond that, we don't really know until we see the complete construction package and know the full dollars that's going to go in, but we do believe it's going to far exceed $1 million.
So in the original information you gave us, you had a dollar figure, but I'm assuming I can't say it out loud, that you were talking about investing into this building, in this project.
Yep.
Is now, and you needed to receive so much in abatement in order to be able to invest that money.
Right. We're still investing that money.
That same amount of money?
Same amount's getting invested, but we're assuming more risk at the way we're doing this, and we felt like this was a more fair way, not only for the city, but for when we go to pay taxes. If that assessed value doesn't come in high enough, we don't want to be locked into a high rate where it should be maybe $1.5 million. So this way, it's the way the system is set up to work right now, and so we're not changing the system any. We're just going to let the system work on its natural progression. So when the assessor values the property, they're going to value it at what it really is the day they assess it. So if it's $3 million, they're going to assess it at $3 million. If it's $1.2 million, they're going to assess it at $1.2 million. And we just felt like that's a fair way to do.
Further questions?
Chad, can you also just clarify when this figure was changed to $1 million?
We had conversations last week between the developer.
Okay. Roll call.
You have a motion from Johnson and a second by Carlson?
Yep.
Okay. Johnson? Aye. Carlson? Aye. Luce.
Aye.
Hadley.
Aye.
Bell Richard.
Aye.
Chisholm.
Aye.
Bergen.
Aye.
Motion passes. Thank you very much. Conduct a public hearing regarding the proposed fiscal 19 budget amendment.
You have background notes regarding the budget amendment. I guess I would ask if Wanda would open the public hearing and make any comments related to that. While she's coming up, I would just note that I've not received any comments at City Hall on this either.
Okay, I think in your background, what's pretty much an overview of what the highlights are and the main components of the amendment. So I think I'll just briefly go through the reasons for the amendment and the process that we have to go through. So anytime you're going to overexpend in those 7 different functions within the state budget, you have to go through the amendment process. And of course, this year we've had some emergencies, we've taken on some projects that we didn't anticipate taking when the budget was prepared, 18 months ago. So those are the main components of this amendment and have been included. We just have to remember that maybe some of this money won't be spent yet this year and we'll amend for it again next year. But a month ago when we did this, we just don't know what those next 3 months will bring and the whole construction season, what the weather does. There's so many unknowns. And of course, some of these are monies that we're expending now and we won't get reimbursed till next year because that's kind of the way with reimbursements goes as well. I'm happy to answer any questions that you might have.
Let's see. There's, thinking that the questions come in after the public hearing. Is that correct? Is there anybody that wishes to speak on the budget amendment? Seeing none, I'll close the public hearing. Is there any questions that you have?
Thank you, Wanda.
Okay, perfect.
Move for resolution 2951.
Second.
Any other discussion? Roll call?
Chisholm.
Aye.
Luce.
Aye.
Johnson.
Aye.
Hadley.
Aye.
Bergen.
Aye.
Carlson. Bell Richard.
Aye.
Resolution 2956, the resolution setting date for a public hearing on zoning code amendments, chapter 17.44.010, procedure for applications for rezoning real estate in the city of Decorah. And it's to be set at May 20th, 5:45.
Move for approval.
Second.
Clerk, who seconded that?
Kurt? Any discussion?
I thank the mayor for putting this on our work session agenda and for those council people that were with schedule that allowed them to be there. I think we had a discussion that might be robust in nature, which the mayor continues to ask us for. And I would just restate that I think this is an unnecessary change that doesn't need to be considered at this time.
I did take in, going through the PMZ process was extremely valuable for my learning. And my recommendation going forward is, the recommendation is put forth by the planning. So, I'm going to vote for 4-1 or 2-1.
And just to be clear, the proposed change is go to a 5-2
That's
council
correct.
reaction as opposed to a 6-1 council reaction.
That's correct. Do I have a motion to set a date?
So you have a motion by Chisholm and a second by Johnson.
Okay, roll call.
Chisholm.
Aye.
Johnson.
Aye.
Luce.
No.
Carlson.
Aye.
Bell Richard.
No.
Hadley.
Aye.
And Bergen.
No.
Motion carries. The public hearing will be on the next city council meeting, May 20th, at 5:45. City manager, department heads, and council reports. We've got some openings.
I would just remind the council and the public that there are 3 openings, one on the tree board, one on the airport commission, and one on the human rights commission. There is information available either in my office or on the city website as to what those boards and commissions do and their authority and the terms of those seats. I would also point out to the council that the Chamber's leadership graduation, leadership class graduation is May 12th. That's coming up. And a couple of other points. On May 20th, we will ask the council to set a date for a public hearing on the Onyota Drive Bridge replacement project, with anticipating the DOT going to bid on that on May 21. So by setting the public hearing, you'll be ready to receive the bids and act on those as recommended by the DOT. I am working on bringing your landfill commission representative to the council for just an update and review of the work of the landfill commission. That'll probably be in June. And I put some information in front of Dan, chair of the Economic Development and Property Committee, about a property committee meeting on May 20. There are several items to discuss, so I would hope that Dan would set that for right after the council meeting on May 20. That's all I have.
Okay. The department heads.
The city and the county will be upgrading the phone systems that is shared between the city and county starting May 20th, that evening. So there will be some phone issues and outages potentially that evening. We're going to start hopefully right after close of normal business hours. So mostly be impacted down here. So that's happening on May 20th.
We passed our annual toxicity test, so that was good news to hear from the university today. And also last week we were pretty busy. We had 250 middle school and high school kids come through the plant. You probably heard me say this a handful of times, but we usually get about 700 people come through every year, and right now we're about 150 people ahead of schedule, so it should be interesting to see how this year ends. So I know Wartburg's planning on bringing about 50 people this year. A couple of years ago they started coming up. Originally started with 7, then it went to 20, so they're building the numbers up. But they also go to a couple of the industries. They go to Dunning Springs and they go check out the Eagle. So when they come up, they spend a lot of time. But NICC also comes, and the surrounding schools too. So just wanted to share that with you.
Thank you.
Just giving an update, the 2019 water quality report has been completed. If anybody is interested in a copy of it, we have some at City Hall, some at the library. You can stop down at the water department, or you can find the water quality report on the city website under the water department tab.
Tree board's been busy, had 2 events recently, a giveaway day, gave away 30 trees. Possible through a grant from Alliant Energy, and Trees Forever is very popular, something that perhaps to do again if possible. And then this past Saturday, did a planting along Mechanic and Short Street in cooperation with the Rotary Club, as well as the Luther football team, about 40 football players. So the trees went in very quickly. Nice project. The tree board very appreciate the support they received from Rotary, Alliance, as well as Trees Forever for those projects. The other thing, the yard waste site, we're going to have our giveaway days. Will be this Friday and Saturday. We'll have an in loader out there to load people up with all the mulch, wood chips, compost that you would like. Friday from 8 o'clock till 3, and Saturday from 8 till noon. So perfect time to get some Mother's Day honey-do list done.
Very good. Up the
Our
library.
new HVAC unit was delivered on Thursday and is now in the process of getting hooked up, so we're very happy about the timing of that as it seems to be warming up outside. On a little lighter note, I didn't realize when I started working in a library that I would be faced with such problems as how do you get 1,000 pounds of water and 2 stingrays up an elevator? But I did recently face with that problem. On the 27th, when we had the snow, we had the Mississippi River Museum come with 2 stingrays. Very fun program. We still had 175 people show up despite the weather, so that was a lot of fun. We'll be releasing our summer reading program calendar shortly, and we're looking forward to their return visit among many other literacy activities and entertainment options.
Very good.
The Luther football team also helped us put bark around City Hall and also around the Decorah sign. And we started summer registration last week, and that runs through May 23rd.
You took in quite a bit of money off of the internet first day, didn't you?
Yes, online registration has been a great success.
It was like 18,000 that came in registration. So. Very good. Randy?
Nothing this evening.
Dan?
I would like to propose a property committee meeting directly following the regular council meeting on May 20th. Which is items
Okay. Steve?
I'd just like to give thanks to Chief Nixon and the department for the speed sign on Broadway. As a biker, turning onto Broadway sometimes a little tenuous, and even just having a sign there noticeably slows traffic. And to Jeremy, thank you for getting the pavement condition report information from the state. I don't have a copy for everybody, but it shows the actual ride data and pavement condition reporting of all the pavement in our city from a baseline, so we can really do a better job of future planning in the city. So I really appreciate that.
So the biggest thing up at Luther right now is on Friday, we have the Student Research Symposium, which happens every year. So there's going to be students presenting their research around campus all day, classes, of course, so they can present their research. Also, my other thing is that this year is coming to a close, so this is my second to last meeting, and my replacement is sitting at the back of the room. Jerry Jones has been elected to be city council liaison next year. He's currently a first-year representative on student senate.
Nice having him. Are you back again next year?
No, I'm a senior.
Yes. It doesn't much. We'll tell you that the next meeting. Okay, I did attend the IUB meeting last Thursday night and presented a resolution. It's a very interesting and informative meeting. I'd say the other thing was being able to participate in the trip was like the perfect, I won't want to say storm, but you could walk down Mechanic, it was seeing all football players, people putting trees in. It's going to be great to see those trees come up. Anything else to come before the city council? Move for adjournment?
So moved.